Hello and welcome into another exciting edition of Talking Bengals. It's going to be a fun one. We're post-draft. We're kind of in that little bit of dead time. The rookies are doing a lot, but the rest of the team is getting a little bit of work in, but not as much as we're going to be ready for in the full season mode. But tonight I'm joined by Josh and Nick, and we'll see if our other host is able to join here in a little while. So, Nick, how are we doing?
Doing great, Casey. Thanks for calling on me when I was getting ready to take a drink. I appreciate that. 2 day, baby.
Here for you. Josh, how you doing?
Oh, having a beautiful night. Ready to get this going.
Word up. So, first thing we're going to get into, the new field design. It's exciting. It's breathtaking. It's groundbreaking. It's basically the exact same field design with minor font changes. But it was a good field design to begin with. So what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Good, Josh.
I like the field, and I liked it before. I've always liked the way it looks. I'm a fan of the B. I think it's subtle, says exactly what it needs to, and the little font change, okay, cool. That's nice. But go ahead, Nick. There's not really much else to say about it.
I mean, that was kind of a short topic. I mean, we've already covered it. Like you said, Casey, pretty much the same thing.
I mean, it was like the most breathtaking, exciting thing to happen this week until Tyler's officially a Titan. How's that one hit you guys? Nick, I'll let you go first on this one.
Talking about T. Boyd?
Yep.
Yeah, T. Boyd. Gosh, sad to see him go. Glad he's going to be with Callahan down there. He's going to at least be appreciated, be utilized. Best of luck to the guy. He seems like a great dude. He's a hard worker, obviously. Hopefully. Hey, Zach, thanks for joining us.
Speaking of Brian Callahan joins us for this episode. Oh, wait, that's right.
But, yeah, so Tyler Boyd definitely going to be missed here in Cincinnati, especially with those hands, coming in clutch most of the time. Not every single time. The guy's human, for Christ's sake. But, yes, definitely love the fishing shirt, Burnsy.
So, speaking of which, Burns, what are your thoughts on Tyler Boyd?
Tyler Boyd?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be missed. Definitely an impact player, especially there at the beginning. I think we're gonna fill that void between, more of a rotational aspect this coming season. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I think he's gonna do well with Brian Callahan. He already knows his type of offense and style was pretty successful with Brian before. So the Titans are going to be up there, I think. Maybe. I don't know. It's going to be interesting because they don't have Derrick Henry anymore. But it definitely gives Will Levis an option to throw the ball to. So,
Josh, any farewells you want to give to T. Boyd?
Yeah, I always loved Tyler Boyd. He was a great weapon. You always knew he was going to be open on third downs. I feel like filling the void of him early in the season might not be the easiest thing. He's one of the best slot receivers in the whole league. Everybody knew it. He had multiple 1,000-yard seasons, reliable as could be. I think it's going to be tough, but I think the new guy, the rookie, I think he can come in, possibly take that role, plus Yosavash. There's some other options, but definitely going to miss Tyler Boyd. He was a locker room guy. Everyone's going to miss him. But hopefully he has a good rest of his career. If he stays in Tennessee, enjoy it.
All right, so, on three, we're all going to harmonize. It's so hard to say goodbye by Boys to Men. 1, 2, 3. Wait, we don't sing. That's not our strong suit, so we're going to hold off on that. But just Tyler Boyd, insert the really good sounding actual Boys to Men. It's so hard to say goodbye, and that's how we feel about you. Thank you for everything you did for Cincinnati, and we hope you do well in Tennessee. And just suck when you play the Bengals. Sorry, I said that to all former players. Once you play terrible against the Bengals, everyone every other week do really well though. But yeah, thank you for all you did, and best of luck. Moving on into the topic that everybody wants to hear about. Rookie jersey numbers. What do they mean? Why should we care? This is obviously the offseason. We're finding things to talk about. So, rookie jersey numbers. The first one I'm going to bring up here is Jamar Burton, because everyone is up in arms that the Bengals missed a great opportunity. They could have been 5-1-3 for their top three receivers, but instead they're 5-1-81. And for those people who keep saying, well, why'd you give him that bum tight ends number from last year? That is not his number. That will never be his number. That is Carl Pickens' number, and you put respect on that man's name. We don't care about, I don't even remember the dude's name. He was so bad last season. Don't ever give him credit for wearing 81. That is Carl Pickens forever. So, yeah, if Jamar Burton has a career anywhere near, or Jermaine Burton, sorry, not Jamar Burton. If he has Jamar, we'll put him in there for both. Jermaine Burton, if he has that kind of career as Carl Pickens, I'm going to be a happy guy. Anyways, I'll get off my Carl Pickens soapbox here. Zach, will throw it to you. For what jersey number do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Sir Newton getting Mixon's jersey. I mean, I get it. Everybody needs a number and everything like that, but give it up on 28 that quickly. I mean, usually that goes to the running back in our organization, right? Because we had Corey Dillon before.
You did have Dexter Jackson with the safety. He had 28 for 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So maybe I'm missing that one. But for me, between Mixon and Corey Dillon, 28 is a running back number. So I always picture that there. So it's going to be different for me to see it in the secondary. McClanahan had 84. I thought that was pretty interesting. Dejan, I'm going to butcher it. Dejan
Sure.
Anthony?
Dejan?
33? Yeah. The other safety we picked up from Ole Miss, he went from 3 to 33. So now not only do we miss 3 on Burton, but we missed 3 on Dejan Anthony. Are we protecting 3 for some reason? I'm not understanding.
It was John Kitna. I mean, we just don't want people to have John Kitna's number. The late great John Kitna.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense to me. We missed the opportunity not once but twice with this rookie class.
I think what they're going to do with that is maybe whoever ends up being the third receiver is going to change their number right before the season. So you want to be number 3, you got to earn it. You got to be that number 3 receiver. Don't think that's how it works, but there's a lot of jersey sale issues, but maybe. You never know.
Well, you remember they got to do what they did with Chad when Chad wanted to change his name from Chad Johnson to Chad Ochocinco, that they forced him to buy out all of the jersey numbers that they had in the stock in the rotation before they let him change his number.
Josh, what curiosities do you see with the rookie numbers?
Oh, I would just say probably Eric All taking that number 83. I mean, numbers don't really mean much to me. Honestly, I really don't care. Unless somebody did have number 3 as a receiver, that's the only thing I would care about. I would say that's probably the only one that really stands out to me. I don't care about the numbers, like I said. As long as you play good, I'm happy. As long as you can help the team win us our first freaking Super Bowl, that's all I care about.
You got to look good to play good. And to play good, the rest.
I feel good.
Nick, any crystal ball insights you want to bring up here?
Yeah,
about the jersey numbers?
Maybe Dion will come.
Or not. I'll just pick it up from here, John Kitna. So, yeah, I mean, I really like Amarius Mims, 71. I think that's going to be fitting. I think he'll earn that jersey. Having a low 70s number like that, really any number in the 70s, I mean, that's a big responsibility as a tackle to come in, or even with his interview talking about, heck, maybe I might even be available to go play guard. God, to be able to have that size at guard, holy, phew,
Could you imagine having three guys that big on the line all at the same time?
That, like, if they could all block and synchronization, that would be great. That means all at the same time. Burnsy.
Oh, what is his 40 time? That's my question.
Who cares? He's big.
I just want to
he's
know
strong.
I just want to know how fast he is. You know,
don't
you
know.
gotta if he's gonna pull or not. You know,
He's big and strong. You don't need someone who's fast. You just need the first couple steps.
Fair enough.
But 71, that's definitely an important number. And Tanner McLaughlin, he better fill in that 84 number. That's my Hushmanzada. My Hushmanzada number.
Mims is pretty fast for a lineman. He's got a 5.0740. So he's pretty darn quick. I mean, that's faster than probably any of us can run at 40. So
that's faster than I could run in my heyday.
Yeah.
I couldn't run that fast when I was in high school.
That's why he makes the big bucks. Dollar bills, y'all. But it is funny how quickly they closed the page on a lot of those jersey numbers. Because if you look at it, you got 83, bye Felicia, going away for Tyler Boyd. You got 81, Irv Smith. Sorry, it's actually Carl Pickens' number like we talked about. 68, so that's DJ Reader out. And then you got Mitch Wilcox, 84 gone. And then we talked about 28, that's Joe Mixon. So basically a lot of guys like, we're going to give you numbers of people who are just on the roster, which is fine. Yeah, okay, moving on to the next person. So, next man up mentality. But maybe they didn't want to buy new jerseys. Like we have a lot of these lying around. We're just going to rip the name off, put your name on, save us some money. But this is the new Bengals, so we won't rip them too bad for that kind of stuff. And speaking of new Bengals, new looks, new locations, Dax Hill officially a corner. Going to start him on the outside, work him in. Let's talk about Dax Hill and how this corner experiment is going to work. Josh, you're up first.
I think this is exactly what he needed. He's not a good safety. They tried it last year. Yeah, he made some plays. Most of the time, he was completely out of position. Granted, he didn't have any good safeties to help him learn how to play safety in the NFL. Playing it in college is one thing. NFL is a whole different animal. I think corner is exactly where he needs to be. Maybe he's going to come in and be a slot corner. I think that's going to be the best thing for him. He can be the tight end killer. And he has the tackling. He's got the speed. He's got the athleticism. I think he's going to be great in this position. So, I mean, I think it's the only option to keep him playing. He was a first-round pick, and you have to find something to do for him. If not, then why is he on the roster? So, I think this is going to be a good option.
All right. So, Nick, what do you got?
I think it's a great option, too. I mean, bringing in a number one pick, thinking officially he's going to be playing safety. Well, that didn't work out. So we have an athletic guy. Put him at cornerback. See what he can do. Why not? Right? You're already paying him to be there. You might as well see if he can play another position because you just brought in Bell. You're not going to bring in Von Bell and tell him that you're going to.
Take your career to new heights with Constructive Curiosity. Whether it's career coaching, mental performance training, or business management consulting, Constructive Curiosity has the insight to get it right. Visit constructivecuriosity.com to get started today.
At the bench. So Dax going to cornerback. Let's see if he can earn a spot, man. Why not?
Thackeray.
Just looking at his stats between the two games that he had started in 2022 at safety versus what he did overall 2023. I'd say they're about average per se, pretty on par. If you take the 17 games he started last year versus the 2 games he started in 2022. Now he did play in 15 games overall in 22. So that maybe that changes a little bit, but like you guys already said, I think it's going to be better for him overall, and then it gives him an opportunity to get some more mentorship from the one that was supposed to mentor him in 22 anyway. whether he likes it or not. There's an opportunity there for him, I think. What I do respect about him is that he's not complaining. I want to say other words. He's not complaining enough and running away and saying, "Oh, trade me. I want to be traded." Like two other individuals on the team right now, that their roles are somewhat changing a little bit, per se. So I give him a little props for that. So check the block on leadership there.
I like it. I think he has the right attitude, like Zach was mentioning. He's ready to take on the role, and we all know there is no such thing as too many good corners in the NFL. It doesn't exist. Have as many as you can because of injuries, attrition, fatigue. It's a long season. Have as many quality corners as you can have, and especially if you have teams that go 4 wide, 5 wide. Yeah, you need people who can run with them. You need athletic people. He's one of those. He was a first-round pick for a reason. You tried the experiment at safety, didn't work. Cut your losses. Tell them, hey, you got a chance to earn a starting job. The job is not DJ Ivy's. Technically, the job's not even Cam Taylor-Britt's. Whoever the top 2 corners are, that's who's going to start. Go be one of those top 2 corners, and then don't lose your job. So, I mean, I feel like it's a great idea. Let him battle, let him fight, and hopefully either, he takes one of the starting jobs or he is a very quality guy off the bench. But moving back into the rookie mode here, let's look at the 4th through 7th round and decide who will be the greatest impact player for the Bengals this upcoming season. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Nick, you're up first.
Yeah, I think that the 6th round selection, Tanner McLaughlin. I think he's going to be one of the biggest impact players. You can disagree with me all you want. I think we got to steal it on the 6th round for him. I think he's going to be a big player.
I like that. He was actually the guy I was going to pick, and I'll pick somebody else when it comes back to me. Josh, who do you think?
I would say, I'm trying to, couldn't think of his name for a second.
Crap should not be one of the top players. I hope not.
That's who it is. Josh Newton. I think he's going to be a big impact player. And he played for a team that made the national championship. And he was a big reason why on that back end of the defense in 2022 with Texas. So I think he's going to be a great player for us. And I mean, if he would have come out a year prior, they said he probably would have been a 1st round pick. So I think he has a chance to hopefully come in as a rotational piece and make some big plays because he's not going to be a starting right off the bat. But
Zachary.
I'm going Cedric Johnson. And the only reason I'm going Cedric Johnson, hey, look, he is going to be a key piece for the linebacking core this year. I truly believe that because that was one of our biggest complaints all of last year, especially down the stretch there towards the end, was what are the linebackers doing? Where are they? Why are their names not being called? So I think he has an opportunity to go out there, work hard, and just be a key role player. Missing it on YouTube. I'm talking with my hands again, and Nick's making fun of me. So yeah.
It's okay.
Well, I'm going fishing, Nick. All right, this is me going fishing.
Well, since you guys took everyone I was going to talk about, I guess I'll go with Eric Hall. Local guy, had a lot of potential coming off an injury. I don't think it's going to hamper him too bad. I think he'll be ready for week 1. And you know what? He's going to be the impact tight end we've always wanted. He's going to have longevity. It's going to be great. And I'm saying all this because he was the 3rd person on my list I was going to talk about, but you guys took the top 2. So, hey, Eric Hall, go out there, be that top pick of the 4th or 7th round, kick some butt, do your job. Awesome stuff. Winning.
Oh, don't say that. Please don't say that.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, gosh.
All right, here we go. All right, worst catchphrases to say. Since we're in it, I like awesome sauce. I think it's ironically funny. So,
Oh, I'd
Nick,
say
what's
that.
your
Major
favorite?
uses it for everything.
Who does?
My sergeant major.
Oh. Yeah. All right. So, Nick, what's your most hated catchphrase?
Let me give you some time back when you're ready to be done with the meeting. That's like before it's supposed to be ending. I'm going to give you some time back. You didn't actually give me any time back. I just have more time to do something more productive.
I hate YOLO. I can't stand YOLO. It's so annoying.
I can't use the words I want to use here, but I always want to no crap when someone says that. We get it. We get it. We get it. YOLO. We understand. Oh,
The new phrase the kids are using is no diddy.
no
Urban
Diddy.
Dictionary. Yeah, Urban Dictionary, that one.
And for those Seinfeld fans out there, I know I'm going to make you guys mad. My most hated thing people say, yada yada. It is I'm work with a bunch of people in their 50s and 60s, and I hear yada yada probably 50 times a day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it. Seinfeld was funny for you guys when you were younger. I get it. I'm tired of hearing yada yada. So that was a fun little sidebar. And now back, we're actually going to get into Who Dey History here. So this week's Who Dey History is not just about one person. It is about a position group. What we're going to be looking about is third down running backs from 1995 to present day. Who's your favorite? Why are they your favorite? Why is everybody else a heap of trash? Zach, go first.
Ooh, I get to go first. Sweet. I'm going Gio. I love Gio. I thought he was quick. He was electric. He could get inside and outside. You could throw them a little screen pass. And if Ryan Shazier wasn't the one down the field, we probably win a playoff game.
There should have also been a flag, but
I mean, hey, look, we know the fix was in on that game. It is what it is. But yeah, Gio, so much fun to watch. Great community person as well. And you know that he had a great impact on the team and the organization as a whole. It's because what did he do this last offseason, or during the season, I should say? He was at the Monday night game taking photos, and doing his photog thing that he likes to do. So I like Gio a lot. Great culture guy and an electric player when healthy.
one of my favorite Bengals from that era. Gio is a guy that I think we all respect. We all love the guy. Hope he continues to come back and do things around the team and the community. Nick, who you got?
Brian Leonard.
Ooh.
I like Brian Leonard because he was a hard-nosed football player. He was willing to run downhill, get the yards that was necessary. I do kind of want to go back to Ryan Shazier's hit. 100%. That was textbook helmet-to-helmet contact leading with your head. But, okay, because I don't like the Steelers doesn't mean anything. I am glad that he's, doing things now. He's not, bedridden anymore. Back to the, best third down running back since 95. Brian Leonard, heck of a guy. I don't think he got enough notoriety for what he could do. He definitely didn't get enough credit for what he could do. And you knew when he was getting the ball on third down, you knew you were getting the first down. It was almost 100% chance it was going to be, converting that third down. So Brian Leonard, my man.
Yeah, my favorite story. Nick, I don't know if you're at the game with me, but they played the Steelers, and he had like 3 yards. He got hit way behind there. He puts his hand out and literally thrusts himself forward with his hand for the first down, and it was awesome. And that's just the kind of guy he was. So hard.
The game that the drunk guy behind me dumped his beer down my back.
Yeah. Hey, but it was a celebratory beer, right? Yeah, it worked.
Sure. He was excited. I'll give him that.
When wasn't he excited and drunk? But we won't get into that until maybe on a future episode of worst experiences we had with the drunks behind us. That could be a segment we have sometime during this off season. Josh, who do you got?
Oh, well, I was going to go with Giovanni. I mean, he's always been my favorite. But I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go with Samaje. Samaje was awesome. He's one of the big reasons why they were able to get to the Super Bowl. His ability to catch the ball out of the backfield and run through tackles, stiff arming people. I mean, there was 3 or 4 games where he was stiff arming, looking like Derrick Henry. And he looked like an absolute monster. And I think he bet on himself when he went to Denver, and that really did not pan out. He thought he was going to do good with Russell Wilson, and nobody did good with Russell Wilson. So,
Including Russell Wilson.
yeah. Well, I mean, now he gets to go play with Tomlin, so he's done better now. So sucking in Denver has really helped him out. But I mean, he was my favorite one of recent. That's for sure. So
I'm going to go classic. I'm going with the first third down running back that I actually remember watching, and that's Eric Bieniemy. So, why he gets his notoriety now as a coach and all the stuff he's done with teams that we're not going to mention this week. He was a fun player to watch. Came out of the University of Colorado, and they were a national championship caliber team. And he was little, but he could make things happen. He would juke people. He would shake people. He was part of, the 3-headed monster of the 1996 Bengals, where you had Kajana Carter, Garrison Hurst, and Eric Bieniemy. And, that's sad that I'd have to call that 3-headed monster. But for my young Bengal fan, that was like the best trio of running backs that I had seen them have. And then, of course, Corey Dillon came in like the very next year and destroyed everybody. So it was awesome. You didn't need a 3-headed monster when you had Corey Dillon. You just needed Corey Dillon. It's literally all you need. Every down, just give him the ball, throw him the ball, hand him the ball, do something with the ball. It's Corey Dillon. But anyway, back to Eric Bieniemy. He was fun, but the biggest memory I have of him actually was not even his fault, but Jeff Blake was trying to throw him a screen pass, and he hadn't turned around yet, and Blake threw the ball, and it ended up being a pick 6. And Eric Bieniemy was like this. It's like, anyway, he was fun to watch. Moving on, off-season topic, because we're running short here on things to talk about, and we still have a very long off-season. So, maybe next week we'll have favorite drunk moments from people at football games. That could be a possible future thing to look into. We're going to go with 3 cheers or 3 jeers for tourist traps in Cincinnati. So what are your favorite? That'll be your 3 cheers. What's your least favorite? That'll be your 3 jeers. So the greater Cincinnati area. Who am I going to throw under the bus to lead us off here? Zach. The one that doesn't live in the area right now.
Well, let's see. I feel like Skyline is a tourist attraction, essentially, right? Or any of the Cincinnati chili locations.
silly.
It's definitely a
Silly.
trap.
Blasphemy.
What? What?
That's silly. I heard silly.
Not chili, Cincinnati chili.
I think Josh is going to fight you if you continue down this road.
Hey,
Let's hear
hey, you know what? It is what it is. Can't help my connection down here in Bama, all right? Yeah, I think that's always my go-to when I come home is I got to go to Skyline. I would say a 1B would probably be the what's that called? The Cincinnati Museum, the old train station.
Museum Center.
They kind of fall on the bottom too of worst, only because they're stop it, Nick.
Gotta have fun, man.
They follow because of their pricing. Now, if you get their season pass, but for somebody that's out of the area, not getting their season pass is not the best thing to do. But the cost effectiveness, we did that when we came home in February, and that was expensive. That was one expensive trip, but it was a great time. There was a lot to do, so that was a good one. And then, if I say worst place I could think of to go to as a tourist trap. Gosh, I don't know.
Oh, come on. There's got to be something.
Such a nice city, you can't think of anything.
I mean, that's true. I like coming home. I like having things to do. I'm here in good old Titletown, and the only thing to do is go watch the Roll Tide and go to Birmingham or Montgomery or Huntsville. So I enjoy my time coming home. And when I left Salt Lake, there was mountains that I can go do and all that other stuff. So worst, I'd probably say boating on the Ohio River.
Yeah, that's
I think-
nasty.
Yeah, like when I get on a boat and I go boating, I want to be able to get in the water and not leave with like 8 legs.
Dead body. You couldn't find a dead body.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. There's apparently the Irish mob have some cars in there too, some buried millions somewhere, and some of those old beat up cars. So I would say boating in the Ohio River would probably be my least favorite tourist trap.
Josh, what's your jeers and cheers here for tourist traps in Greater Cincinnati?
So, my cheers. Cincinnati has a ton of breweries. Like per capita of anywhere in the country, it's one of the highest. And almost all of them are good. I can't say all of them. I haven't had them all. The food, Geta, Cincinnati style chili. You've got Jeff Ruby's. The food here is great. And then there's a lot of things to do with the kids. I mean, there's the you've got the museum, like Zach said. You've got the aquarium. You've got downtown Cincinnati. You can go to the Banks has a lot of places to eat at. You can walk just down the Banks to a little play area for the kids. That's always fun to do. Just go out with the family. I would say a jeer, even though they've tried to clean it up. Rhine. It is not a nice area still. I don't care what they
OTR.
do. Yeah. OTR is still not nice.
Yeah, nothing better than eating at a restaurant that's charging you a lot of money, and there's a homeless shelter right next door. Makes you feel very safe and comfortable.
Yes, definitely. Especially at night. You don't want to go down there at night. It's not a nice area. That's probably the only
Which
jeer
is a shame because I remember when they redid all the things, like the Lachey brothers came in and started trying to build that up, and what was it? Wahlburgers moved out, and a couple other places moved out, and we're back to square one. I feel like.
Before I hand it off to Nick, one of the problems with Cincinnati is all of their interesting areas, other than the banks. So along the river, they built that up on purpose. But the good parts of the Rhine, where Bogarts is, all of that different stuff is separated. It's not one drag. So if you're trying to go to a concert, then go to over the Rhine, then go to the banks, you're walking through some sketchy places, and it's a long walk. It's not a short little hop, skip, and a jump. It's quite a distance to go that far. Probably want to drive. Probably don't want to stop and change your tire if you have an issue. Just keep driving on a flat. Anyway, Nick, your turn for cheers and jeers.
3 cheers. Would definitely love to talk about going to a Bengals game. One of my favorite things to do with in Cincinnati. Reds games are also really fun. There's a lot of the best thing about both of those. There's a lot of stuff for the kids there as well. Like what Josh and Zach were talking about, you have the aquarium, the zoo, you have the children's museum. There's so many different things in the area to do. The jeers, the construction. How did we not touch that yet? Not a single road.
Yeah, it's not a tourist attraction. I mean, I guess it is if you have to drive through it and you sit in it for 3 hours.
Distraction.
Yeah, it might as well be.
It's a tourist distraction. Is what it is.
Don't come here to see orange barrels because you'll see way too many.
Ridiculous. Every road is always under construction. infinitely always going to be under construction. The 75 bridge, 7175 going over the river is miserable. Just go across any of the other ones.
Guess what? You just proved that advertising on podcasts works. Reach thousands of local listeners each week and grow your business. Reach out to Talkin Bengals today to find out more by emailing talkinbengals@gmail.com.
Now I look like Zach with use my hands.
Yes. Influence.
And then, so when you're looking, really, it's just like what Casey was saying. It's all spread out. That's about the only jeer I have. You know, if we're really thinking about it, it's just not really know what to do with my hands. Hey, if you don't chew Big Red, right? Casey, what are your cheers?
You guys all say pretty much like north of the river, so I'm going to bring it south of the river for one of these. So one of my cheers is the Y'alls. I think the Y'alls are a blast. It's a really good time. You don't have to pay the big league prices to watch the Reds slump right now. It's not a fun one to go to right at the moment. But the Florence Y'alls are a great organization, and they're fun to watch. So that's something you should check out. Other things that I like in the Northern Kentucky area.
Braxton's Brewery. I just want to say that. I totally forgot to mention them. Braxton's Brewery.
Ooh, Braxton.
Like the best beer that Cincinnati has to offer, in my opinion. Like,
That's
and we're
what
not
I
even
got
getting
in
paid
my
to say it.
refrigerator right now.
We're not even getting paid to say it either, right? Braxton's Brewery, best beer in Cincinnati, hands down.
Yeah, getting paid. We'll have to see if that works out. We are always open to sponsorships. That's our plug. If you want to throw some dollars our way for us to mention your name on this podcast, just let us know. We are more than happy to do so. We will also run down your competitors and tell people how trash they are. We have no qualms, no regrets. We shoot it from
No
the hip.
shame.
No
Hear
shame.
that,
We
y'alls?
follow-
You hear that, y'alls? We don't support Kalamazoo on this podcast. We only support you. What are you, the Kalamazoo Grizzlies? It's not even a real thing. Talking supporting tobacco and dip.
Chill coffee. Get out of here. It's another one.
You sound old and miserable, Zach.
But so
I'm
Cheers.
45 in Alabama.
Yeah. I do like the Levy real quick for Cheers. Levy's nice. The Banks is nice. Main Strasse is overrated. They need to revamp that like they've done a lot of other places. But places that are very overrated. Most people don't realize it's in the greater Cincinnati area. William Henry Harrison's tomb. He was a president. He's buried in Indiana just outside of Cincinnati. Don't waste your time. It's literally just one little here's his body. Oh, okay, cool. That's it. Had to go there for a history project in high school. Not worth it. The 10 points or whatever I got. It was a long drive to the middle of nowhere, Indiana. It's close, but it's on back roads in the middle of nothingness. So I would not recommend any of the downtown parks that have not been revamped yet that are covered in graffiti. Wouldn't go there either. Apparently places in Ludlow are trying to get amped right now, but it's not there yet, so Ludlow's still a place to avoid, last I checked. The Florence Mall is one of the most depressing places you can ever go. Please do not come to the Florence Mall. Considering at least 3 out of the 4 of us have worked there at some point or another, it's getting worse and worse by the day. Avoid the Florence Mall. It's not an attraction. It is definitely a jeer. Knock it down and put in something else. Anyways, now that I've ran down our
but the Florence Y'all.
Podium Automotive is a proud sponsor of Talkin Bengals. In Greater Cincinnati, it's Podium Automotive for all your auto needs. Skilled technicians, quality service you can trust, and fair prices. Tell us Talkin Bengals sent you and get 5% off all services. Schedule your appointment today on Facebook at Podium Automotive or call 859-869-0097.
Though, that's a cheer. That's the attraction.
So speaking
Real
of that,
ingenuity.
I know Zach knows the same thing. People know where you're from because of that water tower. I've had more people throughout my travels and going different places. Where are you from? I'm from Florence. Florence, y'all. Yep, that's it. You know exactly where I'm at on the map because of that wonderful water tower. And see, it made me so happy when the Y'alls got bought out and they made their name that. Because I'm like, that embodies this city. We are that classy / trashy, and I love it. That's just where we're from. We are those kind of people. If you can't get behind y'alls and dad bod jerseys, you are wrong, good sir. That is what minor league baseball is all about.
All
So
right.
clock
Can I
is
also
telling
throw
us-
one more? I'm sorry. I want to say one more thing. Okay.
Put your
I'm
hands
sorry.
down.
All right. Yeah. Nick brought up a good point. He talked about the Cincinnati Zoo being a good spot. So I've experienced the Festival of Lights in Cincinnati, which is an amazing attraction during the holiday season. I did that in Salt Lake. Not as good. Their Boo Zoo Festival, not as good. The Birmingham Zoo, not worth your time. So everybody in the Cincinnati market or going to be traveling to Cincinnati, going to the zoo, it's probably one of the best ones I've been to across the country. So that's my one
did see
out there too.
where that was absolutely number one in the country for all of the light shows. It is phenomenal.
Tell you what's also really cool around Christmas time is the Ark Encounter.
See, I haven't been there for that yet because
We've
the Ark got
gone the
built
past-
when I left town.
Yeah, we've been the past 2 years for the festival they do around Christmas time with all the lights. It's absolutely beautiful. The way they have everything set up. It's not as good as Cincinnati Zoo, I will say that, but it is pretty good.
Did you guys go out to the Boone County Fairgrounds this year? They said.
Looking for a great book? Check out Once Left the Field of Valor. When Damien Shaw finds a blood-stained envelope after a battle, he is struck by a series of debilitating flashbacks that threaten to unhinge him. The letter leads him on a grueling journey of penance to present it to its intended recipient. This addicting page-turner is filled with action, suspense, romance, and perseverance. It will keep you on edge to the very end and leave you wanting more. Get your printed edition or ebook today on Amazon.
Their own.
They're good.
They started their own.
Yeah, for the price.
Drive-through.
Yeah, for the price, it's not bad. I like the Boone County Fairgrounds for that. What I don't like, man, since we're running things down and putting them into the mud, county fairs, what happened to you? Why are you charging me professional sports fees to get in? I mean, literally, to take my kids and stuff to the Boone County Fair last year was like $80 to get us all in for a fair. And I was like, this is complete crap. So I will not be going back to the Boone County Fair. Yeah, it used to be like
$8.
What? What, Nicholas?
I haven't gone to a fair in years because of the prices. Like they charge per head, and it's almost like they don't even care that they're just kids.
It was ridiculous. I will not be back. It was a gigantic waste of money. I may as well just throw money into an incinerator. So I try to support local economy. So I did go to the light show. But if you want to attract families to come to your fair, you need to understand how you make money at a fair. It's cotton candy, crappy games, and stuff like that. It's not charging admission. Getting through the door should be free or extremely cheap, because then people will spend money on everything else inside.
$5 parking. Call it a day.
Yep.
Yeah, we're getting old and crotchety.
I will yell at the clouds if I want to, Joshua. You don't tell me what to yell at.
No, but Casey's right. I mean, they charge like what, like $10 a person to get in.
Yep.
Oh, and it's ridiculous. Absolutely. And the food is whatever. It's not like you go to some of these fairs, like there's a show on the Food Network channel where he goes to all these different fairs and festivals and gets the food there. I'm like, why don't we have that stuff? We just have pizza, fried Oreos. Like, we don't have like good stuff that you see on there where you get these nice, exotic looking, cool things that look delicious. We just get hot dogs.
And it's the exact same rides from the early 2000s, late 90s when we went. So now I feel even more worried about putting my children on these rides that were from the 70s when I got on them. So it's like, I don't know.
Hey, Bailey James.
You guys,
they do. James does funnel cakes. Awesome. Best funnel cake you'll ever eat in your life. By the way, Bailey James.
you guys remember?
Awesome.
Sorry, I keep cutting you.
Sorry, I was trying to say how awesome one of our local bakeries is around here. Bailey James Bakery is delicious.
Floor is yours, Zach.
You guys remember
Actually, wait a second.
the Florence days where they would do like the county fair, but they do it right there on Main Street, where the old YMCA is. You remember that? Do you guys remember those?
Yeah, what
I
was it
remember that.
called?
I don't remember. I call it Florence Days at this point because in Utah it was called Taylorsville Days, and it's just a big festival, and they shut the city down and do parades and carnival
Do it
rides
at the
and things
Florence.
like that.
They do it at the Florence Yall Stadium now.
I think it was
Oh,
called
is it
Florence Y'all or something like that back in the day. And then, yeah,
It was-
now they
it was
actually have
the Florence Yall Festival.
Yeah,
It's the
now
Florence
it's
Yall
actually,
Festival.
yeah, now it's actually at the Florence Y'alls.
Crazy.
Works
Don't they
out.
do a light festival too? Like a light show?
They do, but they
Yeah.
also have ice skating.
Now, I don't know.
You might
Last year they may have gotten
small
cheaper.
for it.
Yeah,
You have to take a small bit amount for it to get into it.
Yeah, it was very expensive. That's why I have not gone to it. I'm hoping they get cheaper, but I have a zoo membership, so why would I not just go to the zoo?
Everybody goes to the zoo.
Let's go to the zoo.
Oh, and it's not that expensive if you have the membership. It's really not that ridiculous if you go a couple times a year. Yeah, we had one for the last few years just because, we go, free train rides, free like carousel rides, works out well.
I mean, you pay
Oh,
for
another
the zoo
tier.
membership, and it's done. Like, you go twice, and it's worth the money.
Can't forget about Kings Island. Kings
Oh, that's a
Island.
tier, dude. That's
Oh,
a tier.
freaking love it. I love Kings Island.
In 15, 16
Granted, it's not the
years.
same as it used to be back when it was Paramount Kings Island, but I still love Kings Island. Plus, their Christmas thing they do up there is pretty cool too.
My back can't handle
No.
those rides.
The thing that none of us mentioned that's kind of shocking is no one mentioned Riverbend, because I'm pretty sure we have all been overly inebriated at way too many concerts at Riverbend at some point.
No more Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that upsets me. Casey, I think we've talked about this before, but one things I asked Cheyenne to do was to take me to see Jimmy Buffett at Riverbend. And the last time that was possible was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it was right after COVID, and he was just starting to tour again. I'm like, we should go do this. And it didn't happen. And then I'm like, hey, take me to go see Jimmy Buffett. And now we can't.
That's when you and Tiffany went to the show, I think, Casey.
He did, yeah. We got
with
his
us.
last concert at Riverbend. Sorry, Zach. It was awesome, though.
It
Highly
was.
disappointed.
We'll say you were in our thoughts during that moment.
The problem with Riverbend is the beer prices have gotten outrageous.
$10 for a beer. Nuts.
We're
It's
having-
2024. This is,
Yeah,
you pay $10 for beers everywhere nowadays.
Well, Nick, you remember going to the Bengals games. What was the rule? You don't buy beer at the game. You drink a 6-pack in the parking lot and you walk in. That's
Exactly. You may wind up buying a beer or two, but you don't drink the majority of your beer at the game. You drink it before.
You just shotgun like 3 beers in the parking lot, walk in, you're good to go. Children, if you're listening, please ignore these comments. This is now turned into Bengals
Go to bed.
After Dark.
Talkin Bengals after dark.
So before we get into too many dark subjects here, let's wrap it up. Let's go, Nick. What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm excited that the draft is over once again, and that we're actually talking about Joe Burrow coming back next week. Definitely going to have more on that. And Josh, follow me up.
I was going to say the same thing about Joe Burrow. He's throwing again. He's looking good. But I hope he comes back and he's better than ever. He looks determined. So let's keep it going. Go ahead.
Plug the socials. Give us your finals.
All right. So I'm going to start with my finals. First thing I'm going to say, Deion's old quote was, you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. Okay, so I botched it earlier, correcting it now. Okay. Really? You changed it just right at the end? I was just getting ready to acknowledge it and say, hey, as it is Mother's Day weekend.
It's been like that for a
Earlier-
little bit.
Touche. I guess I haven't been paying attention. So, but happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, especially the ones that are double duty doing it. To all of your wives, happy Mother's Day as well. To those that cannot and have not been medically able to, we wish you a great day as well, because I know that could be challenging and hard. I hope you hear my heart in saying that. And then lastly, as Casey said, if you don't follow us on all of our social media platforms, please try to find another platform to follow us so we can continue to grow our audience and grow this podcast. So biggest one is going to be YouTube at Talkin_Bengals. Same with Instagram at Talkin_Bengals. Everything else should be talking at Talkin Bengals, Facebook, Instagram, or excuse me, X. I wanted to say Twitter, Threads. Where else are we? We're everywhere. Go to our website, talkinbengals.com. Okay. Go give us there. We have a Patreon. Some more other things that we've got in the works are coming soon. So be on the lookout there. It'll come up on our talkinbengals.com. Casey, take us home.
Yeah, if you aren't subscribing to us on every social media platform, you are really missing out. Facebook is our bread and butter. We get a lot of great content out there every single week, multiple times per day. I know everybody's probably wondering why we didn't talk more about Joe Burrow. Well, this is the off season, and we're going to run dry real quick. So Joe Burrow will probably be a big focus next week. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. A simple just give us a like when you see it on social media. That makes a big difference. We are a local podcast made up of a bunch of local guys. One's geographically isolated right now, but he is a Greater Cincinnati kid. So be there, like our stuff. We're here for you guys. We are the voice of the fan. So if you guys want to hear something else from us, let us know. Otherwise, happy Mother's Day, as Zach put out there to everybody. And until next time, Hooday.
Okay.
Hooday.
Hooday.